Today, we will discuss on the topic the impact of digital technology on the brain. We are living in a digital world under the massive influence of information technology and artificial intelligence. There was a time we started and ended our day looking at someone we loved. For most of us today, our day starts and ends with a gadget. A mother cooked dinner for her family and called out everyone loudly saying, "Dinner is ready." Her children and husband were busy on their gadgets. Her shouting did not create any impact on them. As she was busy in the kitchen, she once again shouted, "Dinner is ready." However, it didn't make any difference to them as they were totally engrossed on their devices. As she was working in the kitchen, she got a routine call from her mom. She expressed her concern to her. Her mom advised her, "Please send a WhatsApp message in group stating dinner is ready." She replicated her advice, and for her surprise, her husband and children came running for dinner shouting, "Oh yes, dinner is ready." Today, our brain is under the influence of an ever-expanding world of gadgetry. All, either young or old, are hooked up to smartphones or other gadgets. William James, a great psychologist, wrote in 1890, "The faculty of a voluntarily bringing back a wandering attention over and over again is the very root of judgment, character, and will." However, today our attention is being captured by Google, Facebook, Twitter, WhatsApp, Instagram, and many other apps rather than voluntarily being regulated. They are competing for our attention, knowing the psychological handles influencing us to coming back for more. We are like a sailor in the sea without a rudder, being pushed and pulled by the digital stimuli. As we rely on Google Assistant, Alexa, and many other apps for almost everything, from education, sports, entertainment, political discussion to communication with friends and colleagues, our brains are evolving at a speed like never before. Digital technology is using computational thinking for creative solutions, collaboration, and communication. It has enormously improved efficiency in productivity, supply, and services while revolving everything around a click of a button from anywhere and anytime. Digital technology has flooded with remarkable choices and convenience in every field. Most of our skills like discussing, negotiating, bargaining, etc. are being replaced by zillions of apps. Digital technology has been making our life compact. COVID-19 pandemic has revolutionized the uses of digital technology like never before and has created a new normal. The current explosion of digital technology is not only changing the way we live and communicate, but rapidly and immensely altering the way our brain thinks. Daily exposure to high technology stimulates alteration of neurons. It is gradually strengthening new neural circuits in our brain while weakening the old ones. As the brain shifts its focus toward new digital skills, it drifts away from basic social skills such as reading facial expressions during conversation or grasping the emotional context of a subtle gesture. A Stanford University study found that for every hour we spend on our computers, traditional face-to-face interaction time with other people drops by nearly 30 minutes. with a weakening of brain's neural circuitry controlling human contact. Our social interaction may become awkward and we tend to misinterpret non-verbal messages. In short, the modern digital world could be altering our human identity. Today's young people in their teens and 20s who have been dubbed as digital natives have never known a world without gadgets and 24-hour cell phone. Many of these natives rarely enter a library. They use Google Assistant, Alexa, etc. for any information. It's as if something hasn't really happened until it has been posted on Instagram, Snapchat, Facebook, YouTube, etc. The neural network in these brains differ dramatically from those of digital immigrants who have come to the digital age as adults. The basic brain wiring was laid down during a time when direct social interaction was the norm. The neural network in these brains differ dramatically from those of digital immigrants who came to the digital age as adults. Their basic brain wiring was laid down during a time when direct social interaction was a norm. Digital natives tend to have shorter attention span, while young high-tech generation often finds television too boring when simply watched on its own. The terms digital natives and digital immigrants are coined by the US author Mark Prensky in 2001. Prensky defines digital natives as those born into an innate new culture, while digital immigrants are old world settlers who have lived in the analog age and immigrated into the digital world. The digital native immigrant concept describes the generation switchover, while people are defined by the digital technological culture which they are familiar with. There is a deeply divided brain gap between younger and older minds in just one generation. The brain of the younger generation is digitally wired, often at the expense of interpersonal and people skills. People of the older generation live in a world in which their brains must adapt to high technology or they will be left behind. Now, fewer young adults read books for pleasure than any other generation before them. Reading books has been steadily declining in teens and 20s. A study published in Columbia University suggests that Google is hampering our ability to recall information. The study also found that Google improves certain kinds of memory, like methods of retrieving information. Search engines are rerouting our memory. Another study suggests that we are not necessarily losing our ability to remember things. Rather, the internet is changing the way we remember. People are recalling information less and instead can remember where to access the information they have forgotten. Today, conversation at dinner table resemble instant messages whereby family members pop in with comments that have no linear theme. In fact, if there is time to have family meal together, some family members tend to eat their food and run back to their own desktop, laptop, video games, cell phones, and other gadgets. Whoever said gadgets and widgets reduce our workload should think again, as we seem to be becoming busier in this digital world. Much of new technology has brought us incredible advances. The challenge is to take advantage of the technology without letting it take over our identity. Internet's offensive and deluge of information has given rise to cursory reading, hurried and distracted thinking, and superficial learning, in contrast to the age of books, which encourage reflection, imagination, and creativity. Thankfully, so far there is no gadget that could replace treasured human emotions like love, warmth, and creative intuitions that we are gifted with. However, it cannot be ruled out as AI is rapidly advancing in every aspect of human intelligence. During this critical point in brain evolution, we all have to adapt and succeed in this high-tech environment as digital technology has become an integral part of our life. However, we must ensure that we regulate digital technology as masters and never give up on interpersonal skills and human values at the cost of digital intelligence. Thank you. Have a good day. May God bless you all.